Still in Palestine, but now to the West Bank. As a ceasefire was taking place, Israel launched another operation in another Palestinian territory. And this came just after President Donald Trump lifted sanctions on Israeli settlers that have been involved in violence against Palestinians. Now this military operation, the Israeli operation, is raising flags. We tell you more in this report.
Guns and explosions rocked the Palestinian city of Jenin, with thousands of Palestinians leaving the flashpoint city after Israel issued evacuation orders.
All I saw was a rain-like barrage of bullets fired at us. I did not know what was going on, just shots being fired. An intelligence officer called me and told me to evacuate along with my wife and children. He asked me who was there with us, so I told him that it is my wife and children, and my father and his wife. He told me to come out with my hands up, so I left.
Hours after a ceasefire came into effect in Gaza, Israel launched one of its biggest military operations in the occupied West Bank this week. Palestinians in the West Bank say conditions at the checkpoints in the territory have become worse after the truce.
Since the start of the prisoner exchange deal until today, we have been paying the price in every Palestinian city. Every day we go to our jobs and come back, and it is as if they are sending us a message. You are trapped in your town and you can't go anywhere.
The Palestinian Health Ministry said an ailing Palestinian woman had a heart attack at an Israeli checkpoint between Hebron and Said town.
The Israeli army obstructed the crossing of the ambulance. The doctors said in the report that if she had arrived early at the hospital, she would still be alive now. She died due to Israeli army's restrictions on checkpoints.
Hamas does not govern West Bank. Parts of the Palestinian territory are governed by the Palestinian Authority that only recently struck a deal with the Jenin battalion. The agreement ended a 6-week standoff in the northern West Bank city and its adjacent refugee camp. The deal also requires armed groups to surrender their weapons to the Palestinian Authority. If successfully imposed, the deal would have eliminated terror threats in the region. But Israel says its government has taken it upon itself to eliminate Iran-backed elements in the territory. Hardline pro-settler minister Bezalel Smotrich, who is responsible for large parts of Israeli policy in the West Bank, said the operation was the start of a strong and ongoing campaign against militant groups for the protection of settlements and settlers. Dubbed Iron Wall, the operation was launched a day after US President Donald Trump declared he was lifting sanctions on violent Israeli settlers who attacked Palestinian villages. Israeli forces have detained several Palestinians across Jenin and Hebron. Settler violence has long been a part of life for Palestinians living within the occupied West Bank. The Jenin refugee camp was set up by UNRWA in 1953 to accommodate displaced Palestinians. Known as one of the largest refugee camps across West Bank and Gaza, it has long been a focal point for Israeli military incursions. The Jenin attacks are just one element of Israel's intensified operations in the West Bank that the Palestinian Authority says are aimed at gradually annexing the territory. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says the operation in Jenin was an additional step in achieving the objective of quote-unquote bolstering security in the West Bank, adding that Israel is still active and acting against the Iranian axis in Gaza, Lebanon, Syria, Yemen and the West Bank. Netanyahu's point of being still active perhaps only reiterates that he needs war to stay in power if an election is held in Israel. According to an Israeli survey just last month, Netanyahu's rivals will win a Knesset majority if elections were held, with the margin further rising if a multi-party alliance ran for elections with former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett as its leader. But here's the catch. Without peace, there can be no elections. And without elections, Netanyahu continues to remain in power.